sociology for a Christian, how people come together. What's the unit of society? If you go and you read Genesis chapter 1, God created a family, a man and a woman. And they had children. But if you look at the imagery, God had children, Adam and Eve, and they sinned and left the family or turned away from the family. So really, for all of society in the Bible, from the biblical worldview perspective, the unit of society is the family. And that's really, really important. The man was created in a direct relationship to Yahweh, and the woman was created out of his side. People see the Bible as teaching a male dominance, but the actual teaching of the Bible is correcting what wrong cultural perceptions, correcting that wrong cultural perception that there is a hierarchical or a qualitative difference between men and women. The Bible says that they're made of the same stuff. So here's what Paul writes in 1 Corinthians chapter 11, 8 to 12. Man was not made for woman, but woman was made for man. Neither was man created for woman, but woman for man. Nevertheless, in the Lord, in Yahweh, woman was not independent of man, nor was man independent from woman. For as a woman was made from man, so man is now born of woman, and all things are from God. Do you see what he's trying to do? In the Roman culture in which he's writing, it was very patriarchal, very patriarchal. And he's saying, no, it wasn't like this at the beginning. Man and woman were designed to be intricately connected so that you can't get one without the other. Two humans in union with each other as one. So to understand what a human being is, you can't understand that by separating men and women. You can only understand what a human being is from a biblical worldview by bringing a man and a woman together. Christ rejects as false the idea that man and woman are somehow different or independent. They were created together from the same substance to complement each other. In Ephesians chapter 5, verse 28, there runs through, it's probably a bit too long to read, but there runs through a sequence. So Paul says, in the same way, husbands should love their wives as their own bodies. He who loves his wife loves himself. For no one has ever hated his own flesh, but nourishes and cherishes it, just as Christ does the church, because we are members of his body. Therefore, a man, this is a quote from Genesis that Paul is making in Ephesians, therefore a man shall leave his father and his mother and hold fast to his wife, and the two shall become one flesh. This mystery, this is Paul talking again in his letter, this mystery is profound, and I am saying that it refers to Christ and the church. So Paul is saying this idea, this line in the Old Testament is referring to, or he's saying it refers to Christ and the church, that Jesus and those that believe in him become one spiritually. In the same way that a man and a woman, when they get married and start a family, they become one physically. So let each one of you love his wife as himself, and let the wife see that he respects her husband. Because in the cultural environment of his day, Paul was living in a Roman world, patriarchal. Women would congregate to talk about their issues and their husbands. And there wasn't necessarily a love relationship between married couples, is what I'm trying to say. But then Paul goes on to say about children. Children, obey your parents in the Lord, for this is right. Fathers, do not provoke your children to anger, but bring them up in the discipline and the instruction of the Lord. So you can see how this unit of man and woman coming together brings forth children, and then the father is in the position like God, the Father, like Yahweh, that he can't behave in a way that is aggressive and horrible towards his children. Why? Because Yahweh is good. Because Yahweh treats his children. There's discipline, yes, but it's all encased in love. It's in the interaction with other people that is part of the development of character. So to the degree that you only isolate yourself with those that you love or your family or your friends and you don't engage with other people, that has a net bad effect for society. So in the Christian worldview, it's really important that people are able to go out and talk to each other.